Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with RCGroups, and I'm super stoked to have Jase the Ace Dussia on the broadcast. What's happening, Jase?
Not much. Good to see you, Jim T.
So you're at the house. Are we in your personal room? Is that what is happening right now?
Yep, we're in my bedroom. I'm sitting at my desk here on my desktop and just flying on real flight.
So we did an interview a couple of years ago at the Horizon event. You said that you fly every day, and is that true? I wonder if you're still flying on a daily basis.
I'll fly, try to get some sort of RC related thing in every day, whether that be flying at the field or on the simulator. Some days I'm not able to with school and work and such, but I fly in the simulator quite a bit. So, in Michigan here, the weather isn't always cooperating for good flying time. So the simulator is kind of what I spend most of my time on for sure.
So here's what I'm going to do. First, I need to introduce you. Oh, shoot. Hold on 1 second. Everybody knows who you are. Yes, this will be a good way to do it. I'm going to go to YouTube because we will have live viewers and they may have questions. And I want to be able to answer those. So we will jump over there to our channel and I will keep an eye out for that. And it is indeed live. We'll hit pause here. And so Max Borg and Brian Chambers are on. Brian Chambers, number one YouTube fan. If you don't know, I'm going to tell you who Jase Dussia is. I hate to always harken back to the story. I met Jase when he was about about this tall, maybe about the size of the screen, and you've been flying RC your whole life. I'm sure I don't know how you take it, but I always say you're the world's greatest RC pilot. Now I'm sure there are pilots of multiple skill sets in this world, but you're definitely out there doing it in Dubai and Spain. Do you go to
Yeah,
Spain?
I think the most recent one was Dubai, and last year and the year before, especially, we were kind of all over the place. It's really cool to go to all these different countries with my family and meet new friends. Last year, we went to Brazil, went to Weston Park in UK, and there's an extreme flight event over in France too. So a couple other places, Mexico. So there's a lot of places, and it's really cool. What's really cool is, you know, it's RC that brings everyone together in all these countries. And, although the distances are far apart, you show up and you feel like you only traveled a little bit to go out to, just another local field. So it's pretty sweet.
The perspective I have is that I've been doing this long enough that there's always been top pilots that will show up at certain events, and it's sometimes not only the skills that get you to be a top pilot, it's also the skill set of talking to the crowd and hanging out with people, and longevity takes all of the above. And so, congrats on all of that. Who are you sponsored by right now?
Um, Sponsored by Extreme Flight. Been fortunate enough to be on Team Extreme since 2011, I believe. Horizon Hobby, big support since 2012. DA from since 2012 as well. Very reliable engines. Falcon props, Pulse batteries, B&E graphics, um, True Turn spinners. Um, there's a lot of other people that have helped out a lot. My website, jasedussia.com, shows all the sponsors, and you know all those people that have helped sponsor. It's not just about the equipment, but we have good friendships and good relationships and really great people too. If it wasn't for the fact that I like talking to all those businesses and people that run them, then there would be no point with flying their products, because you go to events and you hang out with them and everything, and that's definitely the most important thing for sure. So um, really all these guys that are sponsored out there, it says a lot for those businesses,
Ah,
because
right.
show up to these events and all these team pilots, that's who they hang out with. So it just shows a good friendship and a good relationship overall.
And I've talked about this over the years. There are people that will hear this, especially young pilots, and say, how do I get sponsored? I want free stuff. And it's about being not only being a great pilot, but being a great ambassador to the hobby and how you handle yourself out on the grass. I always go back to the first famous RC pilot I ever met was Kike Somanzini right before doing a demo at SEF. And I watched a young guy approach him, and it was obvious he was getting the plane plugged in and ready to go on the line to do his deal. And when this kid approached him, he stopped and talked to him. And as soon as he was done, man, he was like on the field and doing his demo. So obviously, uh, the kid's time was as important to him as the demo was, and that's kind of how you got
Definitely.
to do it all the time, right?
Yeah, for sure. We'll only be able to, fly at these RC events for so long, and then, eventually, those younger guys will be
Yep.
the ones taking the spot. So,
Just
you
like
know,
you. And I hate to tell the story. I was up north with my wife, hanging out with her family in the Hell Wagon, and we saw this RC event just by accident. And I'm like, babe. She goes, yeah, go out there. So I went out there, and you and your dad approached me, and once again, you were this tall. And then years later, after we've hung out at Joe Nall multiple years, and I count your mom and dad as good friends of mine. And he goes, we met you, and I was like, I had no idea that was y'all. That's so crazy. You were the
yeah,
only
yeah, that's
people
pretty
at the
cool.
field that knew what Flying Giants was.
Yeah, that was a more local event, and yeah, I remember that day for sure. That was pretty cool.
So we're going to go into the live. Well, I just want to say ePowered RC is in the live chat. He says hey to us. He's been on the field since I put it up, and we have Slovenia is also in the live chat saying hello. So what I'm going to do is pull the field up over here, and we will cut over to it. And this could be it. No, that's Jase. Okay, here we go. So the field is crazy active. Wow. I'm going to go into walk mode. So I've done a couple of things. I was hoping to have this. Okay, I got to start in the very first thing I'm going to start with is this is the Virtual Joe Nall 2020. So Jace, no one really knows the story yet. I had this idea, but I didn't know if anyone else would be okay with it, particularly Triple Tree, right?
Sure.
And I thought,
Yeah.
well, I can't sell an idea. I can't pitch them this concept without having to show them anything. So what I did is I spent at least 20 hours on this airfield. And you would think,
Wow.
how do you have 20 hours in here, right? The, the tree line, I've got to say, might have been the trickiest part was finding where to put this. So there's one giant map in real flight, and that's where all the airfields that they use lives on. So I literally went all over this huge map and started filling it up with water until a lake formed. Let's see if I can get in the air. And so this lake showed up, and I was like, wow, this is perfect. Everything else had huge cliffs.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's cool.
So I started laying it in. I wanted the tree line to feel right when you're flying, because that tree line will reach out and grab you. You know better than anyone else, right?
Yeah, it's I remember, you know, probably almost 10 years ago, it was actually a little closer. They did some work out there at the main line to open up the flight area a little bit. It used to be really close, the tree line.
Have you ever put a tree into the tree line at Jonah at Triple Tree?
Joe Nall, fortunately, I don't think so. Most of the times at the 3D line, but during the noon demos and stuff, I don't think uh, hit a tree yet.
You've also threaded the needle out here. Haven't in a noontime demo? Don't you usually go for a gap?
Yeah, there's a couple gaps out there. If I'm making the flight and flying around, and it just so happens to work out where I see something, I'll go around. Usually, like there's a treetop or something that's a little higher than the rest
Right.
of the tree line, so you can fly around that.
So let me say, if you've never gone to Joe Nall, you have to go, and B, the noontime demo, seeing guys like Jace fly, and then the jets, and then the giant scale bipes and stuff. It's the pinnacle of the hobby. You owe it to yourself.
Yeah, there's a lot of different types of airplanes for sure that and the new demos really show off everything. It's really cool to watch.
I also want to give a big shout out to Mr. Pat and Rob and the whole Triple Tree crew. You know, they still have to mow the grass, and they had to get everything fixed up after a recent flood. And I have a link on RCGroups where you can donate to Triple Tree. They're asking for $10 for 10 years. I can't believe it's been 10 years since they gave Triple Tree to the public. Seems like
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago for sure.
So we're going to give a tour of this. I've got Jason and McDougal and Nikolai coming on at 2, and we're going to talk about some reviews. But this is Triple Tree. I'll show you the thing that I couldn't believe came out so well. I have a picture of Ashley from 2019 at that front gate. So this front gate and this tree line to me, I get back on the ground, feels real. It feels like actually going through the gates at Triple Tree. And then you go on around, and we have the full scale airport. And then the view from the airport to the lake was super important to me, and that feels real. You can fly off the water. I've got a 3D line, and it's been this way since I opened it up, Jace. I hosted it, and people just are in this thing all day long, all night long.
Nice. Yeah, I don't blame them.
And then I even have a 3D line down here, and big props to the Team Extreme Boys. I put their banners out for them by their tent. There's an igloo cooler that I was going to put under there, and I didn't do it. I can add later, I think.
There you go.
So
That'll
let's
top it off.
yeah. So let's talk about your airplane. So I wanted to make sure that I had Jace's plane. Hello. You can modify airplanes in real flight and tweak them. So what's the base airframe that your airplane is?
First off, I remembered one thing. Back to the sponsorship thing, I can't go any further without big shout out to Thomas Cook at MKS and Holy Smoke Pumps as well. Kurt Sider, big support last year and in years past. And once again, you can go onto my website and see all the sponsors, and of course it's listed on all the videos and such. But back to this airplane on Real Flight. There's a lot of different options on Knife Edge software, as well as back to the stock airplanes that Real Flight offers. And I kind of messed around with a little bit of everything, and the flight editor, which is very helpful. And this extra 330 SC, basically, in my opinion, was one of the closest ones I could get, based off a 35% 120cc airplane. And there's a few other ones that are really close. Most recently, there's a few options posted on the swap pages on Knife Edge software that some guys have done that are really close. I fly this one. It's I don't remember who it was, but someone posted the original file on Knife Edge software, and I downloaded it, changed the size a little bit, changed the weight, control surfaces, CG, that sort of thing, and this is what we got to. As I mentioned, it's supposed to get fairly close to a 35% plane, but of course it's not going to be perfect in the simulator, but it does help a lot. For example, I'll learn new maneuvers with it, and I'll try to start with freestyle routines for competitions with this airplane as well.
And I was curious about your scheme. Is this just a random scheme, or is it a scheme that you use?
The Castrol one, that's the for this file, that's the original scheme. So whoever did the 3D file for that airplane put the Castrol scheme on it. But usually there's a couple Extreme Flight and schemes on there, and a few other schemes that people have designed, and usually I'll use something like that. I think right now on my screen I got a Extreme Flight Extra scheme on it, and but there's like, for this airplane, it's the original file's been around for a little while, so there's I wouldn't be surprised if there's 50 color schemes available for this exact airplane on Knife Edge software right now.
Right. I'm trying to figure out how to do. I knew this last week. How to do the. I want to follow your plane. You don't know how to do that, do you, Jace?
Yeah, go to view up top,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then look at, and I think it should show the list
There
of
you go.
everyone.
Okay. Well, let's say you're at Joe Nall, and let's
All
say
right.
that I'm Bob Sadler, and
That's a big still there.
you know, I actually put up a video of Bob doing the mainline intros, and I have a Joe Nall Memories thread going. And I want somebody now on Flying Giants are posting pictures on RCGroups. Man, go to the top of the site, go to Joe Nall Memories, and post your videos and pictures and all that good stuff. So let's see the routine you would fly if you're at Joe Nall and I just threw you on the main line and handed you the controller.
Well, usually it's I'll just kind of put on some music
Oh
and
wait,
kind of.
wave your hat. You gotta wave your hat.
Yeah. There you
There you
go.
go. Yeah. All right, now we got your dad. He's tuning it. Everything's fine, fine. Your
I
mom's
gotta
got the
start.
camera.
I gotta start further back here because we just fired up the engine.
I'm over here with my camera. I'm trying to stay out of your way, but closer than I should be.
So I'll go ahead and taxi out.
Hold
And
on. Did you see the picture I put of you in the AMA magazine last month?
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Yep.
did. I didn't ask permission. Sorry.
That's all right. And it's funny. I went and saw the video of that flight, and it's from the other angle, so you can actually see you taking that picture in the video, which is pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Jase Dussia.
Yeah, I usually just kind of go up and do whatever I feel like would be kind of cool. Biggest thing with the noon demo, is of course keeping it safe and not too not too close to the flight line and that sort of thing. And of course, you want to show off the airplane, so all different flying styles and flying speeds and maneuvers. Um, really showcase the airplane's flight envelope. So there's a few different things that I kind of focus on, but at the same time, it's not really a planned routine. The wind and everything has a lot to do with that. So I think the best flight for a demo, anyways, would be just kind of going up and you know going with the flow, I guess.
Do you like a little wind, like let's say 6 or 7 or something, blowing the right way?
Yeah, sometimes it's pretty cool. Even if there's a lot of wind, you can, it kind of restricts your flying a little bit, but you can do some cool stuff with a lot of wind. Like you can go up and do like a rolling waterfall or a flat spin stationary or that sort of thing. But most of the time, I think with dead calm conditions or close to dead calm, the precision is really showcased the best there. The airplane's not bumping around and that sort of thing.
Now, do you need the smoke to be turned on? At some point, are you utilizing the smoke and not utilizing the smoke?
It depends. Sometimes, the airplane I'm flying won't have a smoke system. Um, but for me personally, the two biggest things I use smoke for would be in freestyle competition, and a lot of people like it for the night flying too. So
Ah, yeah.
those are a couple things that I. But for the noon demos, I think I've used it a couple times, and it's always pretty cool that the crowd seems to like it. But as far as the usage for the smoke is just kind of, I tried to always use it for the bigger maneuvers that take up a little more sky,
This is
and
kind of the view I have off the line. When you're getting close like that, I think I've had an airplane or two get that close to me.
yeah, that's everyone's. I think the 3D stuff, the low flow 3D thing is the best. To try to get close to the flight line. You don't really want to get too close when you're doing some of the faster stuff.
So one cool part is we can actually see your sticks, unlike at Joe Nall, which it makes me want to create a transmitter cam so the crowd can actually monitor sticks while you're doing it live. When you're doing high-speed rollers, rifle rolls, I think is what you call it. I sound like
Yep.
a guy from anyway. How do you determine the direction? Is it minute inputs on the rudder, the elevator, everything?
Yeah, there's small inputs on the rudder and elevator, like you mentioned. You know, if the airplane's flying knife edge, you'll put rudder in, and elevator if it's upright or inverted. And the timing depends on, you know, which way you want to steer the airplane. So, um, but you know, most of it's muscle memory. At first, it was, you know, get the input down, and a lot of it has to do with timing and muscle memory now. I think, you know, what's cool about this simulator is you can slow the physics down a little bit, and that helped me a lot with learning that. You know, the airplane
Gotcha.
was able to fly a little slower. I was able to get the timing down a little better before the airplane was flying at full throttle. And of course, really the basic maneuver it all stems off is, you know, rolling Harriers. So you'll probably want to know how to do that first.
My favorite is low rollers right on the grass, like wingtip. Scratch,
Yeah.
scratch, scratch. And that and smoke. If I don't get that at a noontime demo, and I can remember a few years where I didn't get what I wanted, I'm like, where's my picture? You know?
Yeah, that's it's pretty cool. The crowd always liked it. Um, you know, and of course the torch roll with the smoke on too is
So
you know, it's not.
when you're doing that and then everyone goes nuts, I will only yell when appropriate. Like if something amazing happened, I will scream. Do you hear that stuff? Or are you so tuned in you don't hear anything?
Most of the time, uh, I don't really hear it, but sometimes you will. Um, but you know, I honestly most of the time I won't hear it, and I'll go back and watch a video, and I'll hear more than what I thought happened originally. But it's pretty cool to get the crowd involvement. Um, I think it always, you know, if I do hear the crowd get into it, I think you know, it kind of helps the rest of the flight a little bit, especially for a demo, because that's kind of what you're going for is, you know, making sure the crowd likes it.
So if you're flying for real, you'd be out of gas by now, right? It'd be about time to bring it in.
Maybe. I think they'd probably ask me to land by now at Joe Nall. I
Right.
think you get like 5, 6 minutes. So,
Gonna get the slots.
yeah.
I would cut away to see if we have live chat, but if I did, then our full screen view here would go away. I need one more monitor, I think. Awesome. I believe this is the first 2020 Joe Nall demo, noontime demo. I'm going to put it up in a story, I think. See 2020 noontime demo, Jase Dussia. And so maybe it'll scratch that itch. I was pretty amazed how many people are so excited to actually sort of get on the field, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I think, you know, I think this is definitely better than nothing for sure.
Well, let's talk about your company and your foamies.
Yeah. So, JTA Innovations, Jase Innovations, opened up May 1st, 2019. So we've been open for about a year now. And our current line is 6 millimeter EPP foamy. We have a Yak 54, a Gamebird GB1, and an MXS available right now. Each has two color schemes. Um, our website is, there you go, jtainnovations.com. It shows all our airplanes and color schemes at the moment. And we have a contact page there too, so feel free to get a hold of us at any time. As you can see there, we got the T motor, which goes well for any aircraft in the lineup there, and also the T motor line of the 12 amp ESC and a couple different APC props to choose from.
So the thing I always appreciate is when a real pilot is selling aircraft, you know that they know that it works, and so you can trust that the plane flies the way it should, and everything is going to work and last. And so, did you have to go to China and source all this stuff, or how did you get to where you are today?
What kind of started it is when we got a tour of the Extreme Flight Factory. That kind of built relationships a little bit, and this is always something that I thought about doing. And so when those relationships started coming together, um, it kind of led one thing after another. And fortunately, we're working with a really good factory over in China, and they're really not only really fast in production, but they have a lot of experience in the hobby. So it didn't really take them very long at all to get used to developing these airplanes to where they not only fly good but they hold up well. And yeah, like you mentioned, these airplanes are something I'll take to an event or go to an indoor fly-in, and I'll have a lot of fun with them myself, and definitely don't feel held back or anything. They're definitely something that I would fly personally.
Tell me about the design process. Did you start out with some base design and then just tweak, tweak, tweak?
Yeah, usually, I'll draw something up that might not be exactly how it'll turn out. And with the profile airplanes, the drawing process is fairly similar throughout each airplane, especially when it's the same wingspan and same power setup. Um, but I'll draw something up and get the aerodynamic design um, basically figured out for a prototype, anyways. And then I'll pitch the idea to the factory, and they'll work on it from a construction standpoint and engineering with all the construction and the forces that the airplane will be going through. And then once that's all figured out, depending on the wingspan and power setup that we want to go with, we'll get a final drawing, and that final drawing will be the prototype. And usually, sometimes the first prototype, I'll get it sent over here and I'll fly it, or we'll have someone else fly it um, and test it out. Or sometimes the factory actually has some pretty good 3D pilots that work there, so sometimes they'll test them out, and if they like it, that's a good indication that we're headed in the right direction.
Awesome. So, how's stock levels? Is everything in stock, or
Yeah, right now, actually, we have a pretty darn high stock level. The Yak is, I think, probably maybe the lowest in stock since we just got off our sale, and the sale included the Yak. But the MXS and Gamebird have really high stock volume right now. So, and the last shipment we got had um, a couple hundred airplanes in it, I
ah,
believe. So,
awesome.
we're still cutting into that, and every week and almost every day we're getting interest and orders and everything. So right now we still have a pretty decent amount of stock, but we're probably going to go ahead and get another shipment coming here pretty soon, and that may include a couple new designs or two as well.
Awesome. Let's see if the live boys have anything to say. Can we download the plane you fly and then set up the way you fly? It says Max Borg. So I hit Chase up and I said, send me some links. And I actually have the article built. All I'm missing is the lead image. That's what you saw me doing, Chase. I was trying to pull your plane in front of a banner, and then it kept
Okay.
going semi-transparent. And I was like, ah. So, yes, there will be a feature article up probably today with links not only to that, but all the extreme flight planes Doc Austin built with all the schemes that go with those.
Cool.
And yeah, I tried to turn down the sim volume, Nikolai. I'll work it out on the next one. I turned it down to 33. It was not working. What else? Let's talk about your website address just to make sure everyone knows what that is. It's jtainnovations.com, all one word.
Yep.
And man, Jace, how awesome it is to not only have you on the show, but also to actually get you to fly the first demo of 2020 at Virtual Joe Nall. I know Rob at Triple Tree will be excited when I send him the story and the video.
Cool. Yeah, this is pretty cool. You know, I mean, we love nothing more to be at Triple Tree right now and doing an actual noon demo, but you know, this is a close second.
So in 3 minutes, the Blue Angels are flying over my house. So we've
Sweet.
timed this exactly right. I can hear people upstairs yelling. Um, I appreciate you being on. Once again, check out the story. So when I do the story about this video, I will also include the downloads there, so you can find that there. Oh, tell your parents I said hello.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, I'm sure you know, we're all looking forward to meeting up with you again at an event, and I'm sure they're looking forward to hanging out with you, so I
Got,
will.
got to pop out my lawn chair and make me a handsome Johnny. That's my new drink, handsome Johnny. I'll share it
Heck
with them.
yeah. There
Well,
you
man,
go.
thanks for your time. Have a great weekend, and be sure to visit Jase's site, and hopefully we'll have you on again.
Yeah, thank you. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
All right. RCGroups.com, Virtual Joe Nall 2020, Jase Dussia, right on.